Hello, friends, and welcome. It is April 3rd, 2022. Virtual Strangers, episode 145. I, of course, am your host, Wes. With me, as always, is my good friend, Ruuts. Ruuts, how's this April been treating you thus far?
So far it's good. It's warm outside. It's not snowing, and Radio Run made it. That's the main thing. Although he's a little understood. He was put in the Discord that he was going to start playing Cyberpunk 2077, the Elden Ring killer, and I just it just made me laugh so hard in real life because you couldn't. For me, that's like night and day as how good a game is versus whatever Cyberpunk is. I don't know.
Well, we are all different, and for what it's worth, I'm kind of on Radio Rent's side with this one. I know Elden Ring's everybody's favorite game, and I'm not saying that that Cyberpunk's a better game, whatever, than Elden Ring, but I am a bit more excited for Cyberpunk because
The mod.
we can play it in VR, exactly, and plus, I mean, it's more my speed. I'm more into that whole sci-fi scene than the seeds and the One Ring and all of that type of thing. So yeah, to each their own. And for what it's worth, I think I'm rolling with Radio Row on this one.
Yeah, well, I would definitely try Elden Ring first before you say that, for one, and then two. I don't know, man. I see. This is when I looked at Elden Ring, I was skeptical right off the bat, but when I saw that across the board had the highest reviews on every single magazine review, like the top ones, that only Breath of the Wild and some of the other games that have been, you know what I mean? Like it was universally across the board, the top. And then you had Cyberpunk, which when it came out was shit. And then the story, I don't know. I get it, to each their own as far as gameplay wise, but I just think it's not the better game. It's not the Elden Ring killer. Let's put it that way. That was my point. Radio Run's wrong in that respect. It's not going to kill any Elden Ring for anybody that wants to play it.
I think he was jabbing at you a little bit because he knew you would respond. And
I'm so pissed.
Spry Guy says, "Don't say Cyberpunk's better than Elden Ring, or Roots might just quit the show."
I almost did. I wouldn't do that to Wes, man. I enjoy being here. So, but I will, I guess, just stop talking to Radio Run. No, that's extreme. Yeah, but yeah.
He says that he's trying out the Loot Cross mod right now, and I will try Elden Ring eventually when the Loot Cross mod comes out for it.
Yeah, and Onikazi says universally praised, and that was the phrase I was dancing all over the place trying to get to. But yeah, I can't wait for that day.
I take issue with someone saying something's universally praised when I have not seen one person outside of the planet Earth that has said anything about it. So I would say that it's praised worldwide.
Yeah,
that's certainly globally praised.
It's the only game that I can walk into and 9 out of 10 people know what I'm talking about, and on average they've played it or are playing it or want to play it, which is crazy to me for a flag game, right?
Yeah, well, everybody's playing. Even PD's playing it right now. I mean, that should tell you something.
Yeah, that's true.
It's going to be a while. It's going to be a while before I try out Cyberpunk. It's going to be a while before I try out Elden Ring. We just came off a jam-packed March for VR, and I, of course, am a VR gamer first. But man, after all of these titles came out, right, and it was something like 20 VR games came out, 20 notable VR games came out in March. Man, didn't we cap it off at the very end there from PlayStation VR with Moss Book 2.
Oh, God.
I'm absolutely enamored with this game right now. I played, let's see, what did I play yesterday? I played some Warplanes, some of the new Warplanes. I played some of the Cosmonius High. What else? I played a bit of A Tale of Inaugural, but there was only one game I played yesterday that held me for longer than an hour, and that was Moss Book 2.
Ooh.
And the only reason I even put it down was because I had to go to work, and the whole time I was at work, I was thinking about wanting to get back and play it some more. So that's really kind of the mark of a good game, isn't it?
Yeah, when you're thinking about it, when you're not playing it, that tells you it's a good game. It's got a good story, good gameplay loop, and Moss definitely book two has all of that, right?
Well, it definitely shows you that there is some credence to kind of what the anti-quest crowd is saying, because you know we kind of touched on it on Wednesday that getting back into PlayStation VR and back into Moss Book 2 kind of throws you back into those days in 2017, 2018, where releases like this were more common. And for all the good that the onset of inside out tracking and affordable standalone VR has had, uh, we have seen a bit of a step back in frequency with regards to these higher quality, higher level of polish titles. And that's absolutely true. I mean, obviously we've had some great ones in the last couple of years with Saints and Sinners and Half-Life Alex, but back in 2018, 2017, early 2019, before Quest came along, these kinds of titles were a lot more common, not only on PlayStation VR, but back, we were getting big budget Oculus PC games back then, and those days are long gone. And I think a title like this just kind of serves as a reminder of how good VR can be, and it also just goes to show why people are so excited uh, for the next phase, the true next gen VR, which we're about to get into with PlayStation VR 2.
Well, it's a difference between 4 years in the development and some of these games that are developed 2, 3 games by a developer in 1 year. You know what I mean? They got all these things going on, it's just this one has the depth, right? That's what we want. We want the AAA everything. We want the story. We want the narration. We want the gameplay. We want the beauty and the visuals. We got everything with this game. You don't get that very often, or at least not as much like you said you used to. But that is going to shift when PlayStation VR2 drops, right? And then it's going to be, I think, tons of bangers. And I'd be surprised if we don't get Returnal in VR, because I mean they're still working on their game. Gave us co-op, right? Why not bring it into VR?
I'm expecting that, to be quite honest. But it makes you wonder, as much as we're enjoying a game like Moss Book 2, you think it'll hold up? Like 5 years from now, do you think people are still like, let's say Moss Book 3 comes out 3 years from now, 4 years from now, and it's more of the same. The way this one, I'm not saying that it's exactly the same as the first one. It's obviously better in every way, but it's an incremental step. Let's say the next one's another incremental step. Do you think it will be as well received 3 years from now? Because I'm not so sure it will. I think that we're about to take a big step forward in terms of quality of VR games, and I think that titles like this are going to be much more common 2 years from now than they are today. And I mean, and they were much more common 2 years ago, than they are today. So it's kind of like, taking a step back before we take 2 steps forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Mash says, I'll donate to us because you guys are just that good. On $5 asked. We appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you are.
And while we're on the topic of donations, we gave a bunch of keys out this past Wednesday on our 3rd birthday celebration show. And as typically is the case, we're doing second chance giveaways. So if you want to win a copy of Moss Book 2, there's a bunch of other titles. I don't even remember what else we gave out here. Let's see. We're doing the new Warplanes. We've got a copy of it up for grabs. Shooty Fruity. We've got a couple of copies of Fracked, Blair Witch. Let's see here, Phantom Covert Ops, and again, Moss Book 2 kind of being the big prize there. Second chance giveaway going on. So if you haven't checked out Strangers in the Night from this past week, be sure you go check it out so you can enter to win one of those awesome games for yourself. But with that said, I told you guys on Wednesday that a viewer had kind of an unknown viewer largely had stepped up and donated 86 keys for us to give away. Steam keys, all of them Steam keys, most of them from things like Humble Bundle and stuff like that. And I didn't know if he wanted to be shouted out by name or not, but I did receive another email from him this past week, and he said that it's fine. He plans to start talking. He's just he's not very good at public speaking. He gets nervous when he starts talking to people, but he said it's all right for us to shout him out and thank him by name. And he also, while he was at it, donated 15 more keys, so we got a
Ooh,
cool 100 from him right now. So thank you, Miguel Barrios. I think his name's Mickey. He goes by Mickey on YouTube, Miguel
nice.
on his email. So thank you, Mickey, Miguel, whichever you like to be called. We very much appreciate it. And you guys be sure to say hello if you ever see him around and welcome him to the community. He's been here for years,
Wow.
apparently, and just doesn't speak much. Um, but pretty amazing, man. I mean, this is a huge donation. You think of 100 games. Some of these are really good games too.
That's crazy. Yeah. Well, we appreciate it. It's crazy, you know, to even think, because somebody in last week, I think it was in Mash's stream or whatever, and they were saying, and people say this every once in a while, that Roots is famous or whatever. And I laugh. I'm like, there's like 2,000. There's like 2,000 people that know who I'm. That's cool. I think it's really cool. But what is famous? You know, that's 2,000 people that know me. I'm not. I just think that's weird. It's a weird thing to feel that people think that that's famous. But I think that's cool. I don't know.
More famous than some, right?
Well, at least what's cool is in the there's a chance I could go into a game and some random person could say, "Hey, I know who you are," and that 4 years ago that wouldn't happen. It'd be like, I don't know who
Now,
the
here's the
fuck you
thing,
are.
too. Here's the thing. Our 2K people that recognize us are legit 2K people. There are people with 10,000 subscribers that are not as famous as we are.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, I appreciate it, everybody.
Anyway, it's not yeah, it's
Oh,
not
he's
about being famous anyway. It's about oh, there he is. What's
yeah.
up, Mickey? Everyone say hello and thank you to Mickey for the donation. What we're gonna do, um, we're just going to start dropping them in the chat. Not, I'm obviously we're not going to do tons of them, but every show I'll do 2, 3, 4 Steam keys in the chat until we get through these. Because I mean, there's no need to sit on these games, man. We're going to have all new games come 2022 show anyway, so
Right.
we might as well hand these out, find good homes for these games, and yeah, we're just going to start putting a few in the chat. And I know we always said that we didn't want to become one of these shows that do giveaways every week and just have people showing up for free stuff. But man, again, there's no sense in sitting on these. So we'll give a few out every show until we get rid of them. And thanks to Mickey here, that's going to take a while, Roots.
That's crazy. That's really cool. We appreciate it. The community appreciates it. And a lot of people out there that don't have access to games, right? Or they're tight on money. And now Mickey just gave them a chance to play, a bunch of people chances to play games. Sounds cool.
Yeah, you know, I probably have another 15 or 20 in my humble bundle that I bought to give away during the 2021 show and just didn't need them, right? Just didn't have a spot for them. Couldn't cram any more games into that 14-hour show than what we gave away.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and I do want to say that that's everybody except for Techno Glitch. He's not allowed to win any games. No, I'm just kidding. He will win so much on Mash's channel for some reason. His name always comes up. It's crazy.
Why don't we go ahead and drop one out here? I'm just going to pick one at random. It might be a good one. Some of them are not very good. Some of them are awesome.
Marineverse?
Um, and everything in between. Wow, man. This 15 he just sent me pretty legit, man.
Hey, I agree 100%. He says usually it's best not to be famous, and I would have 100%. Like it wouldn't matter to me if it was 100,000 people. Like I'm still going to be 100% the same, and I know Wes would be as well, and that's the difference, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're not famous. We're kind of tongue in cheek joking when we say that, but if we ever were to become famous, it wouldn't be a thing, man. It would still be the same dudes, I'm quite sure about that.
Get a Ferrari though. No, just kidding. I don't know. Why would you want a Ferrari anyway? I think that's kind of weird.
So we're gonna start off with a banger here.
Yeah, Wolvie says you
Again,
just
this is
won a
all
sweatshirt from QTC. Yeah, QTC is the place to go, man. He's going to be giving away PlayStation 5 pretty soon here. He's on the prowl for it.
awesome. All right, so I have to type these in, so bear with me a minute. These all came to me in image files, like he took pictures of them, so I have to type them in. But we're gonna start off with a good one here.
A
Again,
banger.
thanks to our new best friend Mickey over there. Thank you, Mickey.
Yeah, you couldn't afford the oil changes or the gas or the if you have any work you need to do on it. And so what, 2-seater? I don't know, man. I'd rather have a nice bigger vehicle. Go Lambo.
I'll work over the course of the week at getting these over into a copy and paste format so that I can just do this a little quicker in the future. All right, so here's the first part of it, right there. This is for Borderlands 2 VR on Steam.
Wow, that's a good game. That's
The next
AAA.
one.
Talk about AAA, right?
Borderlands 2 VR. There we go. And now here comes the clue. Question marks equals.
Uh-oh, guys. You better make sure you I am 140, 150, something like that. I don't know. I might even be higher than that. I gotta look, but the important thing is I just killed the fire giant and the dragon after it, and I'm now working my way around the spiral thing. I think I'm really close to the end, West, to Elden Ring, and I'm getting excited because it means
I just said a week ago, Roots.
Well, okay. I felt like I was close last time. Really am close this time. But I'm gonna go magic the next time around. So I'm excited about that. I've been kind of holding back because I don't want to ruin it. So
Right, so there you go, friends. That's I guess I shouldn't delete it just in case I got it wrong.
Tech says he won.
Hack says BL2 VR is great. It absolutely is. Talk about a lot of content, man. There is a lot of content. They put all that DLC in VR as well. And like Root said, it's a AAA game, legit AAA VR game. And let's see who got it. Technoglitch. Did he really get it though?
I have no idea.
Know.
He may not, because I think he's taunting me. It's all right though. If you get it, Tech, I enjoy when you get stuff because I like you. So D's at 103. That's crazy.
That is crazy. You people need to start playing VR more. I mean, come on. We're a VR community, people. Come on.
I'll tell you what. I was just talking to Mash about the games that you just listed, and I'm excited because I have all these. This is the benefit. This is the benefit of going back and forth. It's been several days since I've been in VR, so when I go in, everything's going to pop. It's going to be fresh, and I'm going to go in and really enjoy these games. And so I'm looking forward to it because Mash was telling me how amazing World War II is.
Yeah, dude, it's great. It plays like he did. Technically, it says he did get it. So congratulations, Tech. I'm gonna go ahead and delete it from my file here just because Tech said twice now that he has it. So if you don't have it, it's on you, bro.
He has the caps lock on. He's yelling. You ever get people that are like, "Why are you yelling?" Really? It's caps lock. It's okay. I'm not yelling. It's not loud. I don't know why it triggers you.
So anyway, guys, congratulations to Technoglitch. We'll give out another couple before the end of the show, and we'll give out more on Wednesday and the next show after that. I'll probably even throw some in the chat when I stream on Tuesday night. So
speaking of
thanks again to Mickey.
Speaking of streaming, how's your Fallout 4 going? You're kicking ass in there, right? Getting pretty deep in there.
I didn't play it this last week. Obviously, it was I knew that I was getting Moss Book 2 on Wednesday. We did get an early key.
Yeah.
I knew I was going to be getting that, and I hadn't played Moss yet. And again, I only have so much time to play VR during the course of the week, and it was literally like I could play Fallout 4 now, and then go into Moss Book 2 without having played the regular Moss in like 2 or 3 years. Or I could just go in and play Moss on PlayStation VR, which is
Mm.
what I ultimately chose to do. But yeah, I'll probably get back to Fallout this week. If not, certainly by next week we'll do another session in there.
I think it's a good choice actually, because there were so many people that were ready for Moss Book 2, right? And they needed that filler. Same reason you and Mash wanted to go back in, kind of get the remember everything that was going on before you go back into the second one, right? Oh, and Mash has a good point. We're going to do a Returnal stream coming. I think Friday night we're going to try to do that co-op Returnal, and
Awesome.
that'll be interesting.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back in that one as well. I just haven't had time. Again, March was just freaking wall to wall games, and even you know even now there are still probably 3, 4, 5 March releases I haven't tried yet that I want to. So I mean, it's just been a nuts time for VR, and it looks like it's slowing down a little bit. But as we're about to talk about, it's going to pick right back up here in about 3 weeks. It's going to be balls to the wall all over again. So yeah, enjoy the break while we have it. We have just enough time to catch up before it starts again.
That's crazy. We even have a couple games coming out at the end of this week we're going to be interested in, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of games to get into, and it's just getting better every day.
Anyway, as I was saying, Warplanes is awesome. It's like it's just like the first one. I mean, the first one was awesome. It's just like the first one, only with newer planes, newer technology. But it always amazes me how easy the controls are to pick up in that game, because I'm not a guy that plays a lot of flight games, and typically when I do play a flight game, I struggle quite a bit with like coming to terms with the controls and being able to achieve stable flight. It always takes me a lot of practice to get to the point where I'm even like decent and not crashing. But that's never been the case with Warplanes. I've always just been able to pick this game up and play it right away. And the sequel's no different. I picked it right up and had a blast with it, man. It's fun.
Was I heard the speed of the planes, you could really feel the difference, right? In some of these faster jets and stuff, I guess, or not jets, but vehicles versus World War One.
I didn't play enough to really know that the answer to that question. I only played World War One a couple times, and I've only played the second one once.
Okay.
But I will say you can tell when you put the throttle down on this one, like it becomes very obvious that you're picking up speed and able to move around. And it's not always about how fast you go. Sometimes you want to really slow down.
That's true.
Especially if the enemies are not moving very quickly. If you're flying around, you're just going to zoom right past them. So speed is definitely an important part of the dogfight. And again, it's just such a well done game. I'm really blown away by it. And I look forward to more people giving their thought on that one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, now you got me. I can't wait to get in there for sure.
Looking forward to giving away another one this Wednesday, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be awesome.
So again, if you guys want to win a copy of the Warplane sequel for yourself, courtesy of the developer, again, be sure to go back to this past Wednesday, Strangers in the Night, and leave a comment. Make sure you're subscribed, and we're going to draw a whole new set of winners this Wednesday.
Absolutely. Michelle B says, got free month of Viveport. Tomorrow is the last day. So I guess tomorrow's the last day to pick up your free month of Viveport. For real, don't miss it. So many good games on there, right, Wes? And I mean, if you ever
jump and jump.
Yeah, jump and jump. If you were ever curious about how good Taco Face was, now you'd be able to play it. I mean, there's a lot of gems in there, but tongue in cheek, there's actually really a lot of really amazing games that I guarantee at least 10 that you are on your list of games you wanted to play. They're there, at least.
Yeah, I guarantee you that that's true for anybody. Like there are amazing, legit amazing new releases being put on there all the time. I mean, after the fall's on there now. I mean, anything like you can think of almost. If it's a multi-platform PCVR game, most likely it's on Viport Infinity.
Yeah, absolutely. Wolf Raza says Echo, Lone Echo 2 looks good, but it's too slow. Man, you cut so many good games out, Wolfie, but I get you, bro. It's all about keeping busy, right? Keeping moving. He's wiry.
Yeah, well, for me, I really enjoy these high budget, high production value games, and sometimes game awesome gameplay is great, but it isn't everything, especially in VR. So much of VR is soaking in the world that you're in,
Mm.
and Brian was kind of laughing at me at the end of the last games cast. We were talking a little bit about Hideo Kojima and if he's going to be doing a PlayStation VR2 title, and I said, uh, just imagine, that guy being able to create a world with these tools, and I said, even if it sucks, it's going to be awesome. And he thought that was kind of funny, but it's kind of true. Like even if the gameplay sucks, this crazy ass world that this guy's going to make is still going to be something to behold. And I kind of think that that's one of the things that makes VR so unique is you can have a shitty game that still gives you a positive experience. And maybe Wolveraza might not be down with those types of experiences, but if you put me in something that's highly produced and highly immersive, I can get some enjoyment out of it, even if the gameplay is broken.
Yeah, I can get enjoyment out of a lot of flag games in that respect as well. But this is the thing that it needs to have the whole package, in my opinion, to get to where you're at with Mospic 2, to where you're thinking about it. The gameplay has to have some, or the story, all of it together.
Right. Story, exactly. We're talking about Lone Echo. Like the gameplay in Lone Echo is nothing to write home about, but that world, that production, that story is so good and so immersive that it's okay that it's a bit of a fetch quest. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, yeah, true. Well, and everybody, like you
Hey,
said at the beginning of the show, everybody's got a different taste, right? That doesn't mean that
exactly.
just because one game is preferred, I mean, to one person doesn't matter. So,
Exactly. I think about Here They Lie a lot. And I mean, the gameplay in that, it's a walking simulator, bro. That's a walking simulator. And it's still one of my favorite games just because of the meaning behind it and the profound and striking imagery that you encounter in that game. I love it, but the gameplay wise, I mean, it's not great. The controls even aren't all that
mm.
great in it. I still love it though.
See, I'd rather, if I'm going to have a story, I'd rather have a Here They Lie where, like, I'm walking through and I'm not really interacting with too many things. If it's like being in a movie versus fetch quests. Because Lone Echo, that's the thing for me, is like going back and forth and feeling like it's like, okay, I have to do this to get through to the story that I want to watch, or you know what I mean. Sometimes it can feel very grindy almost. But whereas Here They Lie, it was exactly what it was. It was this really cool story that was like, what the hell's going on? And it was what it was. I enjoyed it. So
Yeah, still a lot of people don't know what was going on even after they finish it. But I would advise those people to go and watch my deep dive on it
mm,
from this past October. If that's a game that confuses you, we go into some detail about what it means.
yeah, absolutely. That's really cool.
Or what it means to me. I guess I should say that. It's not like I have the inside track with the developer or anything, but uh, I think it's pretty clear, and I point out examples. So if I'm wrong, well, I mean, any good piece of art, right? It elicits something different in the eye of the beholder. So,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
that game certainly qualifies as art in my opinion.
Yep. And that being said, I guess we should
Anyway,
welcome everybody.
Absolutely. We should get the show on the road, so to speak, and kick it off the way we always do by saying hello to our friends in the chat. VR Spry Guy is here. He said the best part of Lone Echo is the interaction with Liv. Then that is one of the best things for sure, because the character models in that are probably the most realistic I've seen in any game.
Yeah, absolutely. They're very immersive.
Of course, Wolveraz is here. We already said hello to him. Scion's here. What's up? Berber Cat in the house. Traveling Man 3775. Michelle B says Moss 1 is on Viport. That's a very good point.
Oh, true.
Let's see here. Apj says Lone Echo is great. I agree. Hack the Game Cat, what's up? Tass was here for a minute, but he had to bounce. Thanks for stopping by, Tass. Of course, Techno Glitch, the big winner already. One of our big winners this week. Anyway, the first one. Mickey's on vacation, so he said, thanks all. I have to go, but I'll catch you later. Enjoy the games, everyone. Mickey's on vacation. Get this, Roots. Mickey lives in Orlando, right? So where do people who live in Florida go vacation? Chicago. So he's going from the warm weather into the cold weather for vacation.
Oh, that's crazy.
Let's see here. Alex VR says, I love Moss Book 2. It is so great. It is so great. And hopefully I can get this episode done quickly enough that I can play a little bit more before I go to work tonight.
Well, there's the dream, right?
Here.
That's what we got to push for.
Absolutely. Of course, Mash Daddy Eric's in the house. What's up, bro? Recycled is here. Hello. Let's see. Chinatown D said, of course, we already pointed out that she's the level 103 in Elden Ring.
She's trying to beat Mash.
Simplex joining us from Poland. What's up, friend? Thanks for hanging out with us today. I think we already said hello to Hack. What's up, Hack? Mepper is here. Hello, Mepper. And let's see. I think that we're getting pretty close to the top of the list here. Onikazu's here. How's it going, man? Island Kara up in the top there. And let's see here.
So do you think the 2077 mod is worth checking out with the 2080? Everyone's raving about it with a 3080, but I'm afraid to even try it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. People said since this last update that it runs very well. Now, I don't know if that means you can run it on 2070. PD's running on 2070 Super, so I mean, he was running it.
I got a 2080. So, it should. I mean, my thing is, I might check it out. I don't know.
Yeah, I would definitely give it a try. I mean, if you turn the graphics down and it's all shitty, then all you have to do is just not play it. It's not like this is like the most difficult thing in the world to install and play. Like Blue Cross mods are super simple to apply. So I'd give it a look.
That's true. Simplex, he said he's chilling with his Steam Deck. Awesome.
Nice. Yeah. Simplex, one of the early adopters. Congrats on that, buddy. I don't know if I would have the strength not to sell it if I were you. I mean, they're going for such a high price right now. Like some of the people are paying like $2,000 for those things.
Jeez Louise, yeah. I don't think I'm keeping it at $2,000, man. I'm selling that sucker today.
For sure. Anyway, let's get into some news. It's what the people showed up for. Let's talk a little VR. And let's go ahead and just kick it off with our big number of the week. And this one's a cool one, Roots. Typically, we're out here giving the big number of the week about some nameless startup that we've never heard of. But the big number of the week this week comes from actually one of the friends of the show, veteran VR studio of Fract and Phantom Covert Ops, raises $35 million to expand development and publishing. So these are our friends at nDreams. Sent out a press release this past week announcing that basically they have a new minority. Get this, Roots. This $35 million is a minority shareholder in nDreams, if that tells you how big nDreams has become. Um, but basically, they're going to continue doing what they've been doing, which is expanding into publishing, into XR applications, and most importantly, according to this article, next gen VR games, as they cite 2 PlayStation VR2 games that are currently in development in nDreams, which is exciting because these guys, they already do top notch work. And when you start thinking about, what they're going to be able to do with this type of funding, hopefully these games are going to be a little bit longer because, Phantom Covert Ops, Fract, people love these games. They're so awesome. The only criticism that anyone had about either of those games is that they were too short. So now hopefully this funding is going to mean that not only we're going to get that quality, but we're going to get some good quantity with it as well.
Yeah, it would make sense. I mean, if you are growing developer back when those games were made, you can't make the long game. You can't develop for 4 years, right? You don't have the funding to do that. You make the best game you can, and so you make it a little bit shorter than you would like, and then people see how good you are, and then they're like, "Fuck, I want in on this." And then you get funding, and then now you can do the bigger games. So I think that's exactly what's going to happen, and it's exactly why I'm excited for PSVR2. Now, do you think they're going to figure out control schemes on VR? No, just kidding. That's not my worry. I think they're going to be okay.
Yeah, I think they're going to do just fine. Again, the quality level of their last 2 titles, just amazing. And it wasn't like they were doing garbage work before that. But notably, the last 2 titles that they put out have been exclusives. One exclusive to Oculus, the other exclusive to Sony. The fact that they're working on 2 more PSVR2 games makes me curious whether or not those are going to be exclusive, and if so, what that might mean for their future. But we're gonna ask these questions and more because we're actually scheduled to do our next episode of On Location. I think we're gonna shoot a week from the day. We're going to record it a week from the day with our good friend Jimmy Bowers from nDreams. So we're going to ask him about these PSVR2 games. We're going to ask him about Little Cities, which is also nearing launch, which is their first notable title that they're publishing for another developer. But lots to talk with Jimmy about, and I'm looking forward to getting the scoop on what's coming next for nDreams as we move into the next gen.
Yeah, maybe he'll let us know on the down low with the game. No, probably not. But it's exciting times for not only nDreams but for us as VR enthusiasts, right? We know there's some good titles coming.
You think Jimmy's asked for a raise yet? Like how do you not ask for a raise when you see that headline like that?
Yeah, you better be like, okay, well, I want 1% of that 35 million, just one.
For real. No, Jimmy doing a bang up job over there. Look forward to hanging out with him in Rec Room. We're going to be playing Rec Room with Jimmy. It's going to be a good time.
I can't wait.
Anyway, yeah, Ruuts, it's funny. The more of these headlines that we read, the more and more obvious it becomes that these game developers, they're excited for PlayStation VR2, man. I mean, of course, everyone's happy now in the Quest era that they're making money. But when you say everyone's happy that they're making money, that's typically the people at the heads of these studios that are extremely overjoyed by that. We have to remember that, the developers, the people who are actually making the games, these people are artists and they don't like to be held back. They don't like limitations. And when you see this PlayStation VR2 and this whole new set of tools that these guys are going to have to create new and more immersive worlds, the excitement's just showing through with everybody jumping on the PSVR2 bandwagon, and it hasn't even taken off yet.
I know, and the Unreal Engine 5, and it's just it's going to be a good time for a lot of indie developers, right? I mean, it's just going to be amazing, and we kind of touch on this every once in a while, pretty much all the time. But I would imagine it's a joy to make a game for a PlayStation VR versus Meta, because if you're especially if you're a smaller company, maybe you make the game and you can't get it on the platform for some reason, and you have no idea why. I just that's gotta be in the back of your head, and I wouldn't
Yeah.
that wouldn't feel comfortable. I don't think it would be good. So
Yeah. Hard to invest when you don't know that you're going to be able to get that return, right?
yeah, absolutely. And it's like you said, it's your artwork. You've made this amazing game that you want to show the world, and you want it to succeed, right? So you want it every chance to do it. So
Brad Lynch said last week, Roots, that he heard that there's some 300 games already in development for PlayStation VR2.
I wouldn't doubt it. And that's the thing. A lot of people are like worried about it. It's like, man, this thing has been, they knew it was coming out for a long time. I don't think Sony's is not, and not only Sony, and this is the thing, we always looked at, everyone always says Sony's this, Sony, it's the developers that are going to make the controls for the schemes for that. You know what I mean? It's the developers are going to make the games. So those are the people that are want to get these games out there. And 300, that's a lot. That's crazy.
That's crazy. And of course, a lot of those are going to be ports, PC ports. All these developers have always kind of wanted to bring their PC games over to PlayStation VR, but it's a lot of work, a lot of optimization, and some of these guys don't have the resources for it. But now, obviously, going to be a whole lot easier. So I got to imagine, a lot of these games that we expected to see on PlayStation VR that didn't make it over in Gen 1, we're going to see fairly early on in Gen 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And then they really, there are a lot of games on PC VR that they do get the control schemes right. And I think that's why I'm not worried about it, because those are going to come over and show everybody else how they should be done. Right. So
This is the Game Cat with the $10 donation, says happy belated anniversary. Grease the palm a little for Knock for Quest, game of the month. You guys need to play it. I'll agree with that. As many of these games as I've tried out this past week, in an attempt to get ready for March game of the month, one of the ones I haven't gotten to yet is Knock.
yeah,
So I'll absolutely take that $10, Diz, and we're going to buy a couple, 3 copies of Knock, and
get
we'll
in
be
there.
sure to check it out before Wednesday, because I don't know how are we going to do game of the month, Roots, if we haven't played all these games, or at least the vast majority of them.
I don't know, man. It's gonna be crazy, right? Just have to.
I got all the stuff I played. I still haven't played Knock, which I want to play. I still haven't played Tentacular, which people says is really good as well. And all those games I listed off earlier that I played yesterday, like I didn't play very long. Like I'd like to get some more time in those. It's going to be a busy few days. I think that's the moral of the story.
Yeah, maybe you'll have to be sick for a day. You know.
Well, I don't know about that, man. Like I don't get sick very often.
Well, and it's nice to be able to be sick when you really are sick or you really need to be off, right? So,
Speaking of being sick in VR, our next headline reads, Wendy's is opening a VR restaurant in Horizon Worlds. So we saw recently that McDonald's was going to have a very large footprint in the metaverse. Of course, Wendy's not to be outdone. They're coming straight to Horizon Worlds with their restaurant.
wow. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I would probably be more apt to eat Wendy's over McDonald's, but it's not on my list either. I still want to know how this is all going to work. I'm not somebody that has my stuff delivered. So I guess I would go in the metaverse and I would order it, and then I'd have to drive down there and pick it up since I don't want it delivered. Or how does that
I
work?
don't know. I don't know. I don't know if this Wendy's is an operational restaurant or not.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't read that far ahead. Like McDonald's, you buy McDonald's in the metaverse, it's coming to your door. This might just be an elaborate way to advertise. I'm not sure.
It's
I
elaborate
need to
ruse.
read more into it. Yeah. Um, but for what it's worth, I do enjoy Wendy's quite a bit more than McDonald's. So hopefully you can buy some Wendy's in the metaverse, and we're not just stuck with McDonald's.
Yeah, I want to be able to like reach into some weird portal and just grab my food and pull it out and eat it. Then that would make this very viable, right? I could like pull real food out of thin air. That'd be cool.
It's coming, Roots, I'm sure. This says that Tentacular is meh. Now I heard, and he says Star Tenders is surprisingly good. See, I've heard the opposite on both of those. I've heard the Star Tenders is kind of
Really?
meh, and that Tentacular was good. So I don't know. Again, everyone has different tastes, I guess.
Bluebell says, I think Wendy's is just advertising. Probably.
Probably,
But
you're
it
probably
worked.
right
It
because it is
worked. I want some
her.
French fries. Wendy's French fries. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to. Never mind. I want a Baconator, bro. Baconator.
Ooh, I love bacon.
Doesn't love bacon.
Well, if you don't like bacon, then your mouth is broken. Just saying.
Probably. Yeah, I get not eating it for certain reasons. But if you say it doesn't taste good, then yeah, your mouth is definitely broken.
It's broke.
You know who else's mouth is broken, Roots?
Oh no, that's a horrible. That's a travesty. She needs to work on that.
Oh, I'm quite a few people are working on that.
That's why it's broke. Slow
right.
down, right?
One more metaverse headline before we move on. Arizona State launching new VR AR classes. Nani de la Pena to helm. So this is interesting and encouraging, Roots, as there's a whole new kind of group of classes available at Arizona State University now that's training people in the AR, VR arts. And I'm not just talking about making games, I'm talking about being journalists, doing what we do. Only they're going to be classically trained now, which is interesting. And apparently, somebody notable they're bringing in there to help teach it. So, just another sign of progression in our field here. In our, I don't know, just another sign that VR is here to stay, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's definitely not going anywhere. People are investing in it. They're making classes about it. They're showing you how to do journalism in it. You know, I mean, this is the thing. There was a time when people said TV wasn't really going to be mainstream. Radio was king, right? TV came in and smacked the crap out of radio, and nobody wants to listen to. Well, I guess some people do, but yeah, it's definitely out there. It's not going anywhere. And Jimmy, so it's Carl Parker throwing $1.99 out there. Says, ask Jimmy if he's bringing us some Fracked DLC. That's actually a good question.
Definitely. Yeah, I will definitely ask Jimmy if there's going to be any more Fracked DLC. I was already planning on that, but I've already asked him that question. I asked him that when Fracked launched, and at that time the answer was no. That Fracked was a finished project that they were moving on from, and really the bottom line is there will be Fracked DLC if Sony wants to pay for Fracked DLC. And typically with these PSVR Gen 1 exclusives, that's how it goes. It's the same reason with Doom 3 VR that we saw from our friends at ark-ade. A lot of people like critical of them for not doing a pro patch for that one. Well, I mean, they did what they were paid to do. If Sony wanted there to be a pro patch for that, they would have paid for it and we would have gotten it. And it's the same thing with Fracked. Like Fracked was short, for sure. It was amazing. But when I asked Jimmy this very same question right after the launch of Frack, the answer was no. And he didn't come right out and point the finger at Sony. But I mean, it was pretty obvious that they had completed the job that they were paid to do. And at this point, I would think it much more likely to see some kind of a sequel on PlayStation VR 2 rather than some DLC. Although I'd love it. They could very easily, like we've talked about many times on this program, they could do some skiing courses on that and do like a leaderboard type thing where you're shooting enemies as you ski. They could throw those levels together very quickly, and it would just be a load of fun and give that game a lot of replayability that it lacks right now.
If they do, procedural generate the enemies if you can, because then it becomes endlessly fun, right? Because you never know how you're going skiing and they're popping up everywhere. Put some obstacles or who knows what. But either way, we're going to see something good from them. And I think it's a very good question to ask them, right? Just to see if there's DLC or anything of that nature, right? So
Absolutely. And I'll be sure to put that question out there to him next week when we're in Rec Room together.
Yep.
By the way, I want to put the call out there to our resident Rec Room experts. You know, I've done quite a bit of Rec Room at this point, but 99% of what I've done in Rec Room has been the official stuff that Rec Room has created. But I know that at this point there are some amazing user created experiences in Rec Room, but I don't know what they are, and I'd like to kind of, take Jimmy along and show him some of this stuff. If I could get some suggestions from the community, so you guys hit me up on Discord, hit us up in the comments down below. Let us know what's great, not what's good in Rec Room. Let us know what is great. What's the creme de la creme in the user created section of Rec Room? Something that I would want to take a very special guest to check out.
Yeah,
Let us
absolutely.
know, and maybe if we go to what it is that you suggested, we'll shout you out during the episode. How about that?
That'd be cool. Michelle B's never been to
Shelby's
Rec
is
Room. What?
Rec Room's awesome. It's really good. It
Yeah.
really is. Like I love the quest. And one thing I can tell you that we're definitely going to be doing is Jumbotron, the Rise of Jumbotron. I've never finished the Rise of Jumbotron. We've come very, very close on multiple occasions, but it's always just three of us when we go in there,
Mm,
and they always end up catching up to us right there at the end when those little robot things blow up. You don't see them coming, and then you're dead all of a sudden. Um, so we're gonna have four this time, and I want to beat Jumbotron. That's like number one on my agenda list.
yeah, absolutely. Hack the Game Cat says Creepy Betty has Rec Room knowledge. If he doesn't know if she's here or not. So she's out there
Yeah,
somewhere.
I'm gonna put the call out there to the Game Cats as well on Wednesday because if I remember, that is because I know that there's a few of the Game Cats that pretty much just live in Rec Room,
Mm,
and they know all about it. So
that's true.
yeah, we're gonna get armed with that knowledge before we jump in there with Jimmy.
Cool. Yeah, Michelle, them squeakers, Michelle says, but this is the thing. You go in with your friends, with 4 people, 3 people, and you do the things. You don't deal with
Oh
those
yeah.
kids, right?
Yeah, you can do any of that stuff private, Michelle. Like you don't have to ever interact with the public in Rec Room if you don't want to. When you boot into Rec Room, you go to your dorm. You can invite people from your friends list into your dorm and then party up and then go do any event that you want to do in private mode. There you go. That's all
Yep.
you got to do. It's all I've ever done. The only time I've ever seen any squeakers in there is when I did Rec Royale with Roots,
That
and
was fun.
that was a nightmare.
Rec Royale, that's so if you like Pop One, or I guess it's kind of like a Pop One type of game, right?
Yeah,
Battle Royale.
it's a battle royale shooter, and it was very popular before Pop One launched. It was like pretty much the only way that you could scratch that itch in VR is by going in the Rec Room and playing Rec Royale.
Yep.
All right, so anyway, yeah, good point, Scion. He says like private Echo Arena. Exactly, Scion. Anyway, let's talk a little bit of deals before we get into the gaming, as we do have some significant deals this week. First of all, Wraith, the Oblivion Afterlife is getting a permanent price cut, Roots, by 33%, $10 off of this game now, permanently going forward. You're going to be able to own this for just $20,
Oh wow.
which is it's an exceptional price for what is, in my opinion, an exceptional game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, $20 makes it a no-brainer, right? Definitely. I mean, it was a really good deal to begin with, but that's really good.
Yeah, I mean, and this game hasn't really been out all that long. It just came out last year. But one thing that our friends at Fast Travel Games are really good about is realizing when their game's time has come and gone. And we've seen it with Apex Construct. I mean, Apex Construct is it's one of the best games in VR. I mean, obviously it's not like a top 20 game, but it's a great game. It's a fun game. It's easy for new players to pick up. It's a nice story campaign with good archery mechanics. I really like Apex Construct, but when its time had come and gone, they cut the price. It launched at 20. I think it's $10 now to get Apex Construct, and you can catch it on sale for 5 sometimes. on PC. So these guys have always kind of been good at knowing their value and pricing their games accordingly. And this just proof positive of that. It's time. It's time for this to be $20. It's been out for a year now, and if they want people to keep buying it, they have to remain competitive with regards to pricing.
That's the thing. People aren't going to pay $30 a year later. I mean, some people will, but that's the way the industry works, right? Especially with games, it's like even 3 months after a game's released, you'll see some kind of a drop, at least in AAA flat games. But I definitely think $20 is really good. So super cool.
Yeah, and that's on all platforms. Like it took the same price cut on Quest, on PSVR, on Steam, and it's cross-buy if I'm not mistaken on Oculus. So definitely a good deal for $20 and a good, fairly recent horror game that a lot of people question because it did get mixed reviews. Maybe now's the time for you to jump in and check it out now that it's a little bit cheaper to get in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Cyan's right. Reward them with your wallets, right? Again, then they make another good game. So
yeah, they're getting ready to drop their city builder as well very soon. Cities VR, which is cities skylines in VR. I think both the nDreams city builder and the fast travel city builder both coming this month. So I hope you're ready to build some cities, Roots.
oh yeah, super excited.
Anyway, great deals going on over at Steam right now. Of course, these are the more limited time fashion. So if any of these jump out to you, you might want to jump on them while you still can. First of all, Beanstalker is half off. An amazing, great content. Co-op now available as well. $10 for Beanstalker on Steam right now.
That's crazy. That's super cheap. And actually, this is a good game, man. This is I need to pick this up because it's co-op and super cool.
If we don't have more than one of these in our library already, I think I might have another key for it. So don't pick it up quite yet. I think I do have one more key for this.
Oh, nice.
And we should cover it soon because you're right. This is an amazing game, and I haven't been in it since they even did the update adding that new level. So like there's a whole new level in this thing since I played it. Not to mention co-op.
That's crazy. Sounds good.
And it's cool too the way that they implemented co-op in this. They made it so that like if you're on a totally different level, because there's progression in it, and if you're on a way different level than like your friend who's coming in who's a noob, they made it so that everyone kind of can operate on the same level by sharing. They have good systems for you to share your items and your abilities with people who come in and play with you.
Nice.
So they put a lot of thought in how this works, and it looks outstanding.
Yeah, it was already an amazing game before co-op. Super cool.
Exactly. Travelman 3775 says arcade cabinet to the face. Speaking of which, arcade Roots, we did play this one. 75% off on Steam right now. $5 for arcade on Steam right now.
Wow, that is crazy. That's a good deal. That is worth. It was worth it for for full price, right?
Yeah, definitely. And not for nothing, but this is an early access title that's constantly getting updated with new content. This is a very different game, even than the one we played, Roots. There's a lot more content in it now. There's different bosses in it, which is one of the things that we specifically asked for. That they've already implemented some new bosses and stuff in here, new weapons. A lot of the stuff that we said this game needed that they have since added to it, and they continue to work on it.
That's crazy.
$5.
$5. That's definitely a steal. That's a no-brainer.
Yep. You know what else is a no-brainer? The Persistence. 66% off right now. $10 for this. I mean, I don't know if you could call it a AAA roguelike, but it's pretty close, man. It's at least a AA from Firesprite Games. The newest, one of the newest acquisitions from Sony. We're going to talk a little bit more about Firesprite here in a few minutes, but the Persistence is an amazing, high quality game. On PC, it supports ray tracing. You can play it flat or you can play it in VR. This is just a great game, and $10 is a ridiculous price for it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's ridiculous for sure.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't had a chance to check out Persistence, now is the time.
For sure.
Let my dog in here. My dog hates closed doors. He just can't stand it. He just drives him nuts. Space Innocent says, I'm about to buy this Beanstalker. You should, bro.
$10.
I'm telling you, it's good. You're gonna enjoy it, especially if you like these games that have a lot of progression systems built into it. Because there's a lot here with the crafting, with the character progression. There's a lot going on with this game. It has a ton of depth in the gameplay.
Plus, I mean, if you like the climb, dude, why would you play the climb when you can play Beanstalker, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's 10 times better than the climb, in my opinion. There's a lot more to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, one more deal before we move on. Into the Radius is half off right now on Steam. $15 for Into the Radius, and this is another one that just continually gets better and better and better. They keep working on this thing. It's already amazing. But they keep polishing it up, Roots, and making it even better.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's so much better than it was when we first played it, and it was good then. So,
yeah. I mean, I've never seen such a turnaround from a game. It was a bit janky in early access, if we're being honest, but it went from okay to good, from good to great, and from great to amazing. And with that said, well, let's just get into the gaming section there because we have a few things that we'd like to say about this game.
The land of opportunities. The committee assures you that the Matorsk security zone is under total control. By taking advantage of our free will missions program, you will access advanced and reliable equipment, balanced nutrition, latest technology, and comfortable living environment. Staying inside the Radius offers unmatched benefits. The Changed can enjoy the pure ecology of the Radius, its unique wildlife, and plenty of leisure opportunities. Simply follow our guidelines at all times and avoid suspicious encounters. Venture into the Radius. Explore the unknown. Become a hero. The land of opportunities. You're trapped in forever.
So just months, Roots, after a very large 2.0 update came to Into the Radius, we now have a very large 2.2 update, which is now in beta, getting ready to drop to the universal build. This coming from the Into the Radius Steam page, the Steam community. It says, "Hello, explorers. This is only the first half of our large 2.2 update. Upcoming patches will include shooting range and much more. Expect them very soon. Until then, we'll see you Into the Radius." This game features a new tutorial and a new start to the game. The tutorial is now split into parts, allowing users to get in-game faster and apply the acquired knowledge as they need it. It's also more immersive and allows adding tutorials for new features without bloating the start of the game. They're implementing brand new models for the player's hands, and rest is no longer a parameter. Players can still sleep if they want to, but there's no more occasional annoyance with the closing eyes and the yawning. They have found that mechanic overly lacked in depth and meaning, so they removed it for the time being until they can come up with something new. New sounds for all pistols, as well as the M4 and the IZH-27. More new sounds coming in upcoming patches. Now you can run simultaneous missions, up to 5 missions at a time. So you don't have to run back to the base every time that you complete a mission. Now you can really load up on these things, which is going to allow you to progress the game a lot faster. New custom difficulty settings, which allow you to customize over 15 different parameters from things like the amount of enemies, the time until the tide rolls in, how durable your items are, how much damage enemies can take. You can take off enemies' tracers from their weapons. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can customize here to really tweak it to your personal taste in terms of difficulty. And that's pretty significant considering that this is a fairly challenging game. And of course, as has always been the case, every time they've updated this game, they have improved the graphics. There's now new tree models, new textures on the terrain, new grass, overall more detail, dynamic shadows, and there's new voice lines for the mimics, which is we're creepy enough as it is. So I can only imagine what they're saying now. They've also improved the CPU performance, so it's much more well balanced, and the it isn't such a drain to run this thing anymore. Um, and there's another. I mean, there's a laundry list here. I'm not going to go through all of these changes to the balancing and optimization of the game. But this is a 2.2 Roots. They just overhauled this game a few months ago, and here they are, adding in another huge patch, doing what they've pretty much become known for doing with this game at this point, improving it dramatically, update to update to update. Um, I'm not even sure. Have you played this game, Roots, since it was very early on?
I don't know if I've played it since early on when Siam was telling me that I was throwing the knife wrong, even though it wasn't me, it was the game. But it's night and day difference. You know what I mean? They could have stopped a long time ago, and nobody
Yeah.
would have faulted them. They put out a really good game. They delivered what they said they were going to, but they haven't. Clearly, they haven't. They're still fixing it and shaping it and refining it, and they're doing everything that a game like this would do behind the scenes. Um, with people buying it and playing it. And it's really cool to see because not every developer has the means to work on a game like Moss for 4 years and then put out a polished game, right? They put out the game and have made it better over this time period and just continue to do so, which is awesome.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that they're even working on another game, which
Really?
I don't think it's a VR game. But if you go to their YouTube page, there's a whole lot of content around a racing game, which I
Hmm.
believe is something that they're working on as well. So even more amazing when you consider that their time is being split, that they're still working on this. It was understandable when this thing was in early access, but it came out of early access a long time ago, and it was really great a long time ago. So the fact that they're continuing to improve it just proves that this is a labor of love for them, as we were talking about earlier with most of these devs. That this is a passion for them, and they want to put out the best product that they can. Luckily, these guys have the time and the funding to be able to continue work on what is already a really good game.
Yeah. Yeah. Super cool.
Chris Richardson joining the chat says, "What's the game?" I just jumped in. This is Into the Radius 2.2, which Scion says is coming out soon. It's playable now in beta if you can gain access to the beta version of it. But it's coming to full release very soon. And again, just a reminder, guys, this game is 50% off on Steam right now. You can get it for $15. So when the 2.2 patch does come, this week, next week, whenever it drops, you'll have the game in your library installed and ready to jump into the Radius for yourself.
Yep. Absolutely.
Anyway, love Into the Radius, and shout out to Scion for tipping me off that this update was coming, because I didn't even know. I didn't even know they were doing this again, Roots. There isn't. They've done so many updates at this point now. Like the media doesn't cover all of them anymore, but Scion still keeps up with it. They did a like a half an hour Q&A with the developers recently, which for the patrons I pasted in the cutting room section of the cutting room floor section of the notes. So if you guys want to learn more about what's coming into the radius, just scroll down to the bottom and click that link, and it'll take you to 30 minutes Q&A session with the devs.
If you're not a patron, this is the biggest thing, man. I've been looking at the notes like on the sly. Like Wes keeps adding more and more. The cutting room floor is so cool because there are things that are out there that we're not talking about, and it's just a really cool section for the Patreon, right?
Well, the fact of the matter is we can't keep doing 3-hour shows, man. We just can't keep going 3 hours every week. So what that means is it means more and more stuff's going to end up on the cutting room floor. Better and better stuff is going to end up on the cutting room floor. And yeah, patrons get to take advantage of that. They don't have to miss anything because it's all down there available for them to click. Sometimes it's a video, sometimes it's a news story. Anything that's on my radar that we don't talk about ends up in that section of the notes at the very bottom.
Ophe says only 4-hour shows then. Yeah, we'll do the 4-hour shows like they're nothing. That's a special occasion.
My wife is going to string me up if we don't start getting this under control. So I'm making an effort, baby. I promise.
Yeah.
With that said, let's move on to the next headline. Meta Quest Gaming Showcase returns on 420 Roots. What a day for new game announcements, updates, and more. This story coming to us, I believe this one's from Road to VR and Scott Hayden. Meta announced it's returning this year with another installment of its Quest Gaming Showcase, which means we'll soon be getting our annual download on upcoming Quest games and updates this year. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced that the second annual Meta Quest Gaming Showcase, which is slated to take place on April 20th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. That is 1 p.m. Eastern time for those of you who live in this part of the country. Meta says we can expect new game announcements, gameplay first looks, updates on games coming in the next year, and this is the exciting part, Root, quote, a whole lot of surprises.
Ooh. Do we get to know what's in the box? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. Maybe. I doubt it. I think it's going to be software focused, but maybe. Ruth Bram, the executive producer of Oculus Studios, will be returning to present the show again this year. And, the article goes on to detail what we got last year. Roots, I'm sensing a great deal of hype around this event. I think that Meta knows that people were largely underwhelmed with the gaming presence during Connect this past year. And I think that they're set to make up for that, especially, they're no dummies. We're not the only ones that see the hype around PlayStation VR2. That has to concern them at least a little bit. I think that they're going to make a hard play to regain some of that momentum in just a few weeks when we see this showcase. I think, and I could be wrong, but I think we're going to be blown away at the end of this one.
You think that's good for us as VR gamers? No, just kidding. How crazy. I bet San Andreas were probably, it wouldn't be cool if they just came out that day and they said, today, San Andreas is available, and so is Among Us VR, and then they showed all these other games. Because, these games have to come out at some point. Now, granted, we haven't seen much footage of either one, but, you would think this would be a great time to drop them, right?
Yeah, and we do know a few things that are going to be there. Tripwire Interactive has teased that they have something super cool lined up for that. And for those of you who don't know, these are the guys that brought us Killing Floor Incursion. They also brought us Aspire 1. So maybe we'll get some kind of a sequel out of them. Who knows? Excuse me. Fast Travel Games going to be there. Obviously, they're going to be promoting Cities VR, which comes out the week after. Our friends at nDreams going to be there, obviously promoting Little Cities, which comes out the very next day after that. Who knows? We may get something else from nDreams as well, but we know for sure we'll be seeing Little Cities. We do know that Shell Games is going to have some news regarding Among Us VR, and we know that Vertical Robot's going to be there. So we already have some amazing developers confirmed for it, and I mean, we could only speculate about what kind of exclusives Oculus is going to show off, but we already know they have some amazing stuff in development. So, fingers crossed. The last friggin' 2 years worth of Oculus events, we've been saying maybe we'll get to see these Ubisoft titles, Assassin's Creed, Splinter Cell. Maybe we'll actually get to see it this time.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Now I'm looking at the article, the names that they Pistol Whip, the Climb 2, of course, Saints and Sinners. I wouldn't include in this. Expect You to Die and Lone Echo 2. I would include. All games that were back yet then, super exciting to hear about now. For me, it was okay. It was not the biggest news. Do you think this year the games are going to blow us away even more so than these titles that I just listed?
Well, notably last year, unless I'm badly mistaken, I think they unveiled Resident Evil 4 VR.
Yeah, that was
during this event last year.
That and Saints and Sinners, I expect those are big for me. You know what I mean? The other ones were okay. I mean, Pistol Whip is cool, but they're all just titles that, looking back, I don't think they were that big. But of course, Resident Evil 4 turned out to be huge, right? It was a big title, and so hopefully, these titles that we will hear about Ubisoft, because it's been a while.
Yeah, so I do. I expect them to. I expect them to bring more this year. I absolutely do. I keep hearing excitement around this event. And besides that, like we said before, these guys aren't stupid. They see the hype behind VR gaming right now because of PlayStation, and they don't want to fall behind too much. So I think they're going to give it their best shot. And what that entails, I don't really know yet, but we don't have to wait very long to find out.
Yeah, Cambria. Bradley says that they're in production, mass production, from what I saw in a recent video.
Yeah, well, like we had speculated earlier in the year. Remember, I told you guys when they started talking about how production was imminent for Cambria, production was imminent for PlayStation VR2. What did I say? I said on April 1st, the new fiscal year begins, and that's when they'll start making these things. And now here we are, April 3rd, and it's exactly what we're hearing, that these headsets are going into mass production at now. And so, I think that I think there's going to be a lot of hardware news between now and summertime. Will this event show us anything? I don't know, especially since Cambria. I mean, at least with their initial plans, Cambria really wasn't meant to be a gaming device, so to speak. It's more of a high-end device for social and enterprise applications. But they could change. Again, the market could force them to make it more gaming focused, even if they don't want to. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what they bring.
Plus, Sony opened the door, or at least we think they did, as far as time-wise, right? Instead of coming out when we thought they were going to come out in maybe October, they pushed it back. I guess we'll find out for sure if that's, I mean, we know that that's the case. But so now if they could get this headset out first, right? And maybe they do market it more towards gamers for that reason. So, I mean, I'd love to have a new headset. Cyan needs a new headset. So,
right. Well, certainly if Sony sticks to that and does decide to push their headset into 2023, it does provide a bit of an opportunity for Meta to kind of swoop in and scoop up a few more users this holiday season. I'm not convinced they won't backtrack on that though, but only time's going to tell.
Yeah.
Anyway, super exciting time. 420 Roots. It's a holiday already. Now it's going to be even better.
Absolutely.
Green Hell VR, releasing April 7th on Quest 2. PC VR coming next month. Roots, surprise, surprise, Green Hell VR coming this week. Looking forward to this one.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I'm not big into survival games, but this one looks really cool, very detailed, very just deep. Has a lot of depth to it, right? And I don't know, it looks cool.
Impressive physics on display here, especially for a Quest game. That was kind of the one thing that stuck out to me when they demoed this, a couple of months ago. Gamertag had some not the best impressions of it, having played that demo. But with that said, there were a lot of other people, and I think Masher included, that was fairly impressed with it when they played it. So yeah, I have a certain amount of you know uh, optimism with regards to this one. I do like the idea of having a new world to explore like this. Um, Really, you never can tell with these survival games until you get your hands on them and see how it really is and how tedious it's going to be. But it certainly looks beautiful, especially for a Quest game. And again, I do have a certain amount of optimism, and my curiosity is piqued.
Yeah, mine too. Alex VR says the rumor has it the Quest version is better than the PC at the moment. That really piques my curiosity. And I think wasn't that the one that GT initially was complaining about was the PC version, or maybe it was the Quest version as well. But I agree. The
It was
fact
PC.
was
It
it
was the
PC?
PC version.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's just weird. That's weird that, I guess, we've seen it before. Sometimes there's a Quest version that's completely different, like in Death, even though that was gameplay wise and everything else. But this one, clearly the Quest version's got a little bit more love development wise. So super
That doesn't
cool.
surprise me. That they know where their bread's buttered, right? So it would make sense. There's a reason why PC's not coming out, right? Quest is coming out this month. PC's not. I would say it's a pretty safe bet to say that the Quest version is in a better state today.
Absolutely. And somebody was saying they're waiting for co-op on this one. I think it was Diz or somebody. That would be cool, right? Co-op for this would be super cool.
Well, always. I can't think of many applications that co-op doesn't make a game better. So, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
Chris Richardson says, you'll just be picking up sticks, Wes. Well, if that's the case, I'm not going to be a very big fan of it. But with that said, Song in the Smoke, the game that did have me picking up all those sticks, is probably my favorite pure survival game that I've ever played. So, yeah, maybe if it turns out to be anywhere near as good as Song in the Smoke, then I'll be happy with it.
Yeah, super cool.
Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next headline. This one kind of hit me from out of nowhere. Wolf Ross is going to love this one, Roots. This coming from Upload VR. Population 1 will revamp its gun mechanics in June. Population 1's next major update will overhaul its gun mechanics alongside other features. Developer Big Box VR confirmed as much in a blog post about the game's future following the recent launch of the new Metropolis section in the Battle Royale VR shooter. The developer explained that the game's next major update will happen in June and teased 4 key additions. And no, none of them are permanent solos or duos modes, so sorry about that. Perhaps the most interesting note is for gun mechanic revamps. The studio said it's working on bringing new and improved mechanics for the game's arsenal. No specifics on what they actually mean, but in our opinion, or I guess in their opinion, this being from Upload VR, there's definitely room to improve on Population 1's relatively light weapon handling. Another big addition will be new guns, which the studio says will allow for, quote, more intricate strategies and higher intensity battles. Elsewhere, the game will also overhaul its leaderboard and stat master systems, including the introduction of leaderboard events, or, in other terms, a rank mode. Finally, there's expansions coming to the social store too, which will allow you to earn past items. So, Roots, a big overhaul coming in some fairly substantial ways to what already is a very good, very popular game. Do you think this is just change for the sake of change, or do you think that they actually need to be making some of these changes?
I don't know. This is my thing. Wolveraza is very worried because he's right. He wants to know which way it's going to be changed. Is it going to make it easier for some to reload and everything else, or is it going to make? His thing is that the reason why the sweaties are so sweaty is there's no real mechanics to the reloads and everything else. He's hoping that they'll balance that to make it a little bit harder for them to play, or a little bit more balanced, I guess. So he's worried about that. And my biggest thing that I read into that makes me a little bit upset, only because I've spent money, like real money, to get skins. So now they're going to have a social store where people can earn past items. So like the vampire skin I bought, that I took the time to buy, that you can't get anymore. Guess what? You're going to be able to earn, or whatever. You know what I mean? It cheapens it. If that's what it is. The beauty of those type of things, those skins or those things that you earn at the time, is it's come and done, man. You missed out. You should have got it when it was time. I've now got a skin you can't get. And if everybody else can get it after the fact, I think it kind of, it fucks that whole system. You know what I mean? And I don't know if they're looking at it from that perspective, but it is true. So
Heard that's the case. Is, you know who else likes it sweaty?
My mom.
Chai Down D says, you know who else who does like a strange backdoor? I missed something in there, but I've heard that too.
Anyway, I think there is cause for concern here, Roots, because I really like Pop One. I think that it's great in its current state. One of the things I like about it is how quick and easy it is to pick up the controls and the mechanics of this game. And I think I'm not so sure that I will like it if it becomes all of a sudden a bit more tedious and more difficult to deal with. I like the arcade style of the game. Everything doesn't have to be a sim for me. And one of the things I like about this game is that it's not. So I'm a little worried. But then again, you know, these developers have pretty much hit it out of the park at every turn. So I'm going to choose to have faith until they prove otherwise, and look forward to what's coming next for Population One.
Well, and the good news is they've proven that they listen to the community. So if they bring something out and people don't like it, it'll go back. It won't be long before they change it back, right? So
Here's the thing: they bring stuff out that people love, and then they change it back.
well, it's all that's true.
Duos, singles, you know.
Yeah. Well, they keep that thing on a rotation, right? So I'm a big believer that if it's not broke, you don't need to fix it. You can tweak it, but a complete overhaul could be a problem. But I'm not, like you said, so far they've given me no reason to distrust what they've done. So you know, kind of excited to see what they're gonna do.
Yep. And for what it's worth, you know, we're talking about 2-3 months down the line here. Plenty of time to get our feel of Population One between now and then.
Yep, absolutely.
Report counter behavior to a civil protection team immediately.
Hey, over here! Help!
Down and out. Surgical strike units are targeting railway stations. Repeat, civil protection is coming down on underground stations. We're already getting refugees from 9 and outlying. Looks like we're...
Station 8, do you copy? Station 8, are you there? We have confirmed reports of manhacks. Repeat, they're filling the underground with manhacks.
Long defunct Half-Life 2 VR mod shows off new progress with manual reloading and ladder climbing. This from Ben Lang at Road to VR. Many years before the release of Half-Life Alyx, a group of fans built a rudimentary Half-Life 2 VR mod, which allowed the game to be played with early VR headset dev kits. Unfortunately, the mod eventually lost compatibility with newer hardware, as the first consumer VR headsets began to hit the market. But last year, a group of proven VR modders rebooted the mod for modern VR headsets, and now they're showing the first signs of progress. This week, Source VR team member F. Holger posted a detailed update on the Half-Life 2 VR mod since the team started working on it last year. The group worked initially to salvage pieces which had previously been built, but had to fill in the blanks in a number of places. That included building a missing bridge which connected the inherited parts of the mod to the underlying Half-Life 2 game, as well as adding support for Vulkan rendering and MSAA anti-aliasing, which this person says provides a significant uplift to the game's graphics in the headset. While progress was slow at first, things started coming together toward the end of 2021, allowing the team to focus on making early levels of the game fully playable. The modder shared a new video showing the latest progress on the Half-Life 2 VR mod, which we just looked at, including index controller finger tracking, proper ladder climbing, and manual reloading. While the game looks perfectly playable from the video, the modder warns that there's still a lot to do elsewhere. The modders will need to continue progressing through the game, fixing what's broken, and making specific sequences functional in VR, like the vehicle driving sections later in the game. The next step after this first milestone is to get the game at least technically playable from start to finish, and to bring more of the old mod's VR enhancements to the new version of the mod. Once that's complete, the team plans to release a public alpha of the mod to find bugs and remaining issues to be fixed. Quote, please do not expect a perfect VR experience for the alpha release. Flat to VR ports will always have some jank remaining, and we will still be focusing on the most critical aspects to get the game playable. Now, there's no timeline given for this alpha release of the Half-Life 2 VR mod, but they say that they'll make an effort to be more communicative about the mod's progress than they have been in the past. Roots, when I got into PC VR gaming in, I guess it was 2018, this was pretty much the mythical title of all titles. This Half-Life 2 VR mod that once existed once upon a time long ago, but no longer is working, but supposedly someone in a basement somewhere still still plugging away at it. And then as Half-Life Alex became a rumor and then became a real thing, all talk about this kind of just faded away. Now we're living in the post Alex era where people are starting to get hungry for more Half-Life VR. And while it's true that uh, there are strong rumors that indicate that we may be getting a sequel to Alex or even Half-Life 3 in VR, I could still see a lot of excitement out there around the prospect of what is a lot of people's favorite game finally making its way into a VR headset. Um, what are your feelings about it? Because you're like me, uh, we weren't really like big Half Life fans before VR,
Mm-mm.
but I can say, having finished Alex, um, my excitement for this is a lot more now than it was way back when I first heard about it.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, I like the looks of it. Eh, See, this is the thing. I tried Half-Life 2 in VR, or at least one of these mods that somebody had, like the Black Mesa, whatever PD was talking about, right? And I've tried it, and it was okay. But like Chris Richardson said, here's a game I never finished. I got bored. I got bored with Half-Life 2, and maybe I didn't get far enough into it. And if I had a legit mod that was amazing, this thing drops, then I would feel more inclined to go further. But I'd rather have Half-Life 3 or another Half-Life Alex. But super cool that somebody's working on this, that they didn't abandon this. And for people that are big fans of this, that's the dream, right? The nostalgia of being in this world, getting to be in Half-Life 2 VR. I just don't have that nostalgia to work on, right? So
Right. Recycled says that this is the guy that did the FSR thingy that is a big part of the Fallout 4 VR mod. So a well-known modder here working on this.
nice.
This isn't the original group that put this thing together. These are well-known modern VR modders that are working on this now, and it shows from this footage. Like, I wasn't all that excited about this before, but looking at this footage, this is some fairly smooth gameplay that looks, in many respects, like a native VR game. Now, obviously, it's going to be a little rough around the edges for a little while, but I think it's pretty impressive with some of the hand interactions and things that they're showing off in this video.
Yeah, I mean, you clearly have your hands in there, right? You're shooting, you're getting to aim your gun. Action packed for sure. Looks really cool.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, physical interactions, a lot like even in Half-Life Alex, and finger tracking. I mean, you got to consider that this is a 15-year-old flat game. I mean, it's kind of nuts that they're able to put players inside of it. But again, we've been marveling for some time now at what these modders are capable of. It's really impressive what they're able to do with these old games.
Yeah, they're getting better and better. And think about this, I mean, all the games coming out, the newer they are, the better the engine. And pretty soon here, it'll be easy to port any of these things into VR. So just because of the way it's
Yeah.
written. So
Yeah, I remain hopeful that, and I don't think that this is going to be the case, but I remain hopeful that maybe we see some kind of program like this from Sony in the future, where at the very least, we get to play these old classics in 3D, even if it's on a screen. I think that would be huge, and the way that these newer game engines are able to kind of just flip a switch and have full 3D rendering. Um, Certainly not outside the realm of possibility.
no, it'll just be there one day, and it'll be like it's always been there, right? And it'll be just amazing.
This says the modders are amazing. They absolutely are. These people single-handedly holding up PCVR right now. I mean, PCVR is hot right now, and I think a lot of that has to do with these mods that people are you know are buying link cables and gaming PCs just so that they can play their favorite games in VR.
Yeah,
And,
well, like you said, the games just aren't being developed for PC right now. I mean, if they're already out there for Quest, so there's no reason to run out and buy a PC VR except for the old titles like Half-Life Alyx or whatever, or the mods, Risk of Rain 2, whatever it is. There's so many good mods out there for AAA games that you can't play on Quest 2, right? So,
Yeah. How about the friggin' official VR release calendar pulling us away from our mods, man? Screw you guys. Tentacular. I want to play Fallout and I want to play Resident Evil 3 and yeah, leave me alone. Let me just get back to my PC mods.
yeah, for real.
Anyway, moving along, The Under Presents Roots. This is a title that we enjoyed from back in the day. Free to play now. Has been for some time. Bringing back live performers. And I guess in an attempt to revitalize this title that's been out for some time now. One of the most unique titles in all of VR, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. Look at that. Launched in late 2019. We were talking about this. That's been a couple of years, right? This thing's still going. Really cool. I mean, it's free. If you haven't checked it out, now's the time to check it out.
So like the hub world, which I think is the free part of it, like all of the content isn't free, but the free part of it is this hub world, which is kind of like this nightclub area. And in this nightclub area, you have on-stage performers that literally performing for you. And at the time that we tried it, it was kind of the on-stage performances were kind of like reruns. Like they had real people come in and perform them, but they were just running on a loop. But after some time, they had theater students from one of these acting schools in New York come in and do live performances for people in this thing, and it was really cool. But you know that deal expired after many months. It got extended a few times, but eventually it went away. But apparently people liked it well enough for them to bring it back because it is back. And again, one of the more unique experiences in VR and something you can totally co-op with someone. But if you're going to do that, you want to make sure you're hooking up in a party chat outside the app because there is no in-game voice chat supported here. You can be in there with other people, but you can't communicate inside the app.
Yeah, it's weird. It's you can't even commit the actor. It was a weird, different experience. I will say that. I thought it was cool. Definitely worth checking out.
Yeah, it's one of these deals where like you can look under a rock and find a whole universe. It's like one of those type weird other dimensional type places that you can go to where you really don't know what to expect anywhere. And the content in the game was fun as well. Like I forget what it's called, but there's like ship thing in there where it's a story based game that has all to do with like time manipulation and like solving mysteries. Like there's a lot of cool stuff going on in here. A lot of very original concepts, even today, stuff that really hasn't been replicated in VR. And again, it's free to check out, so I highly recommend that people jump in there and give it a look.
Yeah, free is awesome.
Free is awesome. Bluebell says it was weird. It absolutely was weird, and you guys know how much I love weird stuff. Like that's right down my alley. Give me more weird.
For real.
Anyway, live performers active now in the Under Presents, so be sure you go check it out.
From the imagination of Cloudhead Games comes a journey through time and space.
Oh, this is amazing.
In a quest for an impossible power woven by a dark figure.
I need what you have, what you are.
The fate of a fading world rests in your hands.
Pistol Whip developer Cloudhead Games working on AAA, quote, next gen VR games. This from Jamie Feltham at Upload VR. Pistol Whip developer Cloudhead Games is working on AAA next gen VR games with, quote, deeper scope and vision compared to what's come before. The studio confirmed as much in a blog post published on its official website this past week. Thanks to our broader success, we are excited to announce that we've begun work on new next gen VR titles with deeper scope and vision, the post reads. Note the not so subtle formatting that confirms that the studio considers these new titles to be AAA tier, a term usually reserved for high end titles. No other information about these new projects was announced, but Cloudhead did note that it will be growing out its team in the weeks and months to come. The team also promised it would continue to work on, quote, mad experiments, innovative ideas, and keep an eye on the future of XR through its Cloudhead Labs division. It also confirmed that Pistol Whip would be getting mod support at some point in the future. Pistol Whip's been a big success for Cloudhead with years of continued support for the rhythm shooter. But before the game's release, the studio also launched 2 episodes in an adventure series called The Gallery, with the second installment ending on a cliffhanger that's still unresolved to this day. Could Cloudhead possibly return to its roots? The developer said in late 2020 that it would love to return to the series for a, quote, next gen experience. We also have to wonder if the mention of next gen in today's blog post could mean the studio may bring its next titles to Sony's PSVR2 headset. So, 2 questions there, Roots, 2 big questions. First of all, when they say next gen VR, the code name for PSVR2 for the longest time was just that, next gen VR. Do we think that Cloudhead is literally talking about PlayStation VR2?
It makes sense, but I mean, if it is this sequel, right, or I guess the third version, then that means they have to bring the first 2 as well, right? That would be kind of weird to have a sequel to the first 2 and not have it on their platform.
Would it be though? Because think about this. Well, I mean, it would be weird to do it without bringing the other 2,
Right.
but why wouldn't they bring the other 2 along? I
That's
mean,
true.
that especially the Gallery episode 2 holds up even with today's standards as one of the most beautiful and fun VR games I've ever played. It absolutely stands in there with the best of today's games. And when you're considering bringing it over to a platform like PlayStation VR2, they could do an enhanced edition that uses the eye tracking, that uses the haptics, and all the new features that PSVR2 brings with it. And they could do a completely new version of the Gallery without even really having to put all that much work into it, and bring the trilogy to PlayStation VR2. I think it makes a whole lot of sense, actually.
That's true. I mean, we are talking that they're going to be bringing a lot of PC ports over, right? So why not? You could sell. You have a whole new audience for the first 2, make them a little bit better,
Right.
and then as far as the next gen, and then release the third one, and you're good to go.
Right. And every time that they've been asked about finishing the Gallery over the last few years, they always say the same thing, that they would love to do it, but it would take some advancement in the tech. Like they would need new features on new hardware before they would ever consider returning to their baby. And I, for one, think that PlayStation VR2 fits the definition.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if they want to go next gen, and most people, they want to finish their story, right? And they left it on a cliffhanger. They've said they've wanted to do it on next gen, and here's your chance. I'm sure they'll still release it on the next gen PC VR as well, Cambria
sure.
or whatever.
For sure.
So.
Yeah. These games, even the one console-based games, they're all developed on PC anyway. So, like, it wouldn't be that much of a stretch for them to do it as a multi-platform thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wolveraza says, what if the 300 titles that Sony is boasting is just deals to get PCVR games to bring to PSVR2 right away? Gotta say, I wouldn't be mad even if it was half of them. Well, I mean, it was Bradley boasting that. It wasn't really Sony. Sony hasn't said anything. But yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. You want to have a vast library as quickly as possible if you're Sony, and they've always had this kind of even back in the heyday of PSVR, they've had these PC enthusiasts holding these other titles over their heads saying, but you can only do this one on PC or you can only do that one on PC. It would make sense for them to want to put an end to that in a very quick way. So yeah, who knows?
Yep.
Anyway, as far as this Cloudhead thing, I think it spells PSVR. I think this has PSVR2 written all over it. I don't think that because we all know that they could ride Pistol Whip to the bank for years to come now, doing DLCs and sequels and more of these story-based things that they started doing this past year. They don't need to do anything else other than Pistol Whip to make money. And the fact that they're returning to this kind of deeper game and higher quality AAA experience just goes back to what we were saying at the top of the episode, that these guys are artists at heart. They're in this for the love of it just as much as anything. And I don't know how guys like that can look at a headset and a platform like this and not get excited about it and not want to go back and finish the story that they've already started telling. I think it's pretty much written all over the wall here that that's what they're talking about.
Yeah, and it makes business sense too. So it sounds good. It's going to be the biggest thing. Aylin Kara says, "Am I the only one that thinks Cambria is going to be better than PSVR2?" And my answer was, it may be spec wise, but the software, the games is where it's going to shine, just like it always is with Sony, right? It's going to be
unless they make some fairly significant changes to what Cambria is. It's not going to be a gaming platform. They've said that. It's going to have the exact same processor in it that Quest 2 has in it, unless they change their mind. It's just going to be running the same XR2 chip that our Quest 2 already has in it. It's basically going to be a Quest 2 with better screens and eye tracking. That's what Cambria is going to be. It's not going to have exclusive games for it. It's just going to play Quest 2 games. And now that said, Cambria could very quickly have a predecessor within a year that is Quest 3 that has its own library, and that very well could compete with PlayStation VR2. But Cambria, no. Cambria is going to be it's a beta test. It's a beta test for Quest 3. And it's not going to come with anything really special in terms of gaming. It'll be cool as a to use for PC gaming. I'm sure it's going to be great for that, but it's not going to be its own platform, and it's not going to have its own games. So my excitement for it is limited just based on that.
Yeah, especially when you already have so many headsets already. If you were really excited and going to be picking up a headset, if Eric's experience is good with that Pimax, you might lean towards something like that. That's a completely different experience, right?
They offer something that we don't already have, right? That they fill out your field of view with that thing. So yeah, if it has the right kind of resolution, and they've gotten the visual artifacts under control, I mean, Pimax certainly seems like a more viable thing for a gamer than Cambria even.
Yeah, at this point, right? Yeah.
Moving along, Blade and Sorcery update is going to bring a bevy of gameplay improvements, including Ruuts a PC graphics overhaul. This from Ben Lang, another one from Ben Lang. Blade and Sorcery, VR's favorite melee combat sim, is continuing to see steady updates. The game's next update, U11, looks to be a doozy, with the studio planning to add an expanded magic system. It's stealth mechanics, and a graphical overhaul on PC, as well as plenty more. Expected in the next few months, Blade and Sorcery Update 11 update is going to bring a host of improvements in the popular game, which will expand the way players can play. Blade and Sorcery just keeps chugging right along, Roots, and as popular as it ever has been today.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just thinking about this game when I saw it was in the notes, and there's so much. I'm scrolling through, like so much in this article, all the things they've changed, everything, and this is a perfect example of how I wouldn't even say a rough start. It's just the way that this game has started with being a sandbox and everybody raving over it, and it literally being just a bunch of videos of people slowing down and stabbing people on YouTube that made it super cool. Everybody wanted to get it, and now it actually is something. And I can't shake this feeling I had when it first came out. It shows that first impression can really stick with you, because I know I'm looking at all the differences and I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? I should. It looks like there's so much to this game. Even the PC game version they're working on, right? Because this is Quest as well, and they're adding stuff to it, and maybe it's something I need to give another look.
Not only is it on Quest, Roots, it's one of the highest selling titles on Quest. I think it's number 6 overall.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and that was a few months ago. Who knows where it's at now? But very popular game on the Quest platform. Surprisingly popular. People would love it, man.
Yeah. Well, I definitely I know Wolveraza says Blades is decent, but the physics are kind of stupid. I just went into it when it first dropped. So I need to go back in and check it out. Because like you said, if it's that popular, if that many people are loving it, then there must be something to it.
Right. And I mean, I need to give more time to these melee combat games anyway, because they are extremely popular, and we try to we try to represent all of VR and kind of have opinion on all of it, and I feel like I'm kind of sorely lacking in this one department, because I avoid these games um like if I want to play a melee game, I'm going to Asgard's Wrath. I'm going to something that gives me a story to work through. But even like Blade and Sorcery, or even Swordsman, I mean, they've come a long way with offering kind of like campaign style play and boss fights and things. And again, people keep raving about these games, so I feel like my knowledge is incomplete until I get in there and check it out.
That's
So
true.
I am starting to become somewhat interested. Both of these versions of this game have been in my library for some time. I just haven't taken the time to check them out yet.
Yeah. Well, see, I think about this, and then I think about the other. What was that one game that we have that you can play? They've been working on, that's multiplayer, that we went into with Radio Runt and a bunch of other people. Tech. I can't think of what the name of it is off the top of my head, but
What is it?
it's that one melee game we played recently. It was like 6 or 8 people in there, and we kept dying and having to run back across a long courtyard. And I think it starts with an L. Somebody in the chat's got to know.
So I played this?
Yeah, we all played it together. Me, you, Eric, Tech. It was a sword game.
A melee sword game.
Yeah, I just can't remember what the hell the name of the stats we were just talking about last week. Somebody will get it. But so I guess we'll find out who Wes just dropped a code in the chat. And we'll see if somebody.
Talking about Swords of Gargantua?
No, it was a multiplayer.
Oh.
It was like 6 people, 5 or 6 of us.
Oh, you're talking about Legendary Tales.
Yes, Legendary Tales. God, man, why was that not? That was like on the edge of my brain. But yeah, so I'd rather play. I'd rather play that than this. That's my thing.
Exactly. That's always been my thing with it, is I need something to do. I don't want to play in a sandbox.
Yeah.
But once they give you such a vast menu of different like in-game things that you can do, and then they start to kind of implement parts of a campaign style thing, and and then put bosses in. I mean, they continue making it closer to something like I would want to play.
Yeah, absolutely.
App G got the key drop. We just dropped a key for Aspire 1 in the chat, and App J got it courtesy of our new friend Mickey. So
Nice.
congratulations, App J, and thanks again, Mickey.
A-
We'll drop one more before the end of the show.
App J, I would recommend to play that game and have the most fun, at least in our opinion. Play it as it's designed and just do the stealth, right? That makes it so much more fun.
Yeah, and you know, to be honest, I feel like that game did get a little bit of a raw deal. Not a whole lot, not the longest campaign, but I did enjoy what I played of it. It was just a little too easy.
Yeah, that's still really good.
Yeah, for sure. So congrats, App J, on picking up a pretty solid title.
Yep.
Anyway, a couple more headlines to get to before we get into the week's reminders. Speaking of games, Roots, that I've kind of downplayed ever since it got launched, and that I probably should give a look based on what other people are saying. This next one kind of really fits that description. Puzzling Places introduces monthly and premium DLC pack structure. The developers behind photogrammetry-based puzzle game Puzzling Places revealed a new plan for future DLC packs split into monthly and premium packs. Since launch, Puzzling Places has received a few DLC releases with new puzzles that expand the selection from the base game. There was the Mars Desert Research Station pack in October, alongside two variety packs, the most recent of which launched last month and included cultural heritage objects from India, England, Nepal, and Poland. However, the Puzzling Places developers say that the overwhelmingly feedback they've received, that don't sound right to me, Roots. The overwhelmingly feedback that they've received is simply that players want more and more puzzles. As an answer to this, the devs are introducing a new DLC structure. Monthly puzzle packs will release, you guessed it, once a month, featuring 6 puzzles per pack for $5, with some puzzles limited to 200 pieces and others 400, depending on the scan quality. These will be variety packs featuring a wide range of puzzles that may or may not be thematic, with simple audio soundscape templates such as city noises, natural ambient sound, mechanical sounds, etc., that are reused each month where appropriate. This will allow the team to release DLC more frequently while focusing on other DLC packs that, quote, push the boundaries of Puzzling Places. These premium puzzle packs will release roughly every 2 or 3 months, featuring about 4 puzzles per pack for $5, all with a 400 max piece limit. Premium packs will be, quote, centered around a main theme or location, with storytelling being a central focus, and will include premium audio with custom soundscapes specific to each region or puzzle. Every puzzle released so far for the game since launch will be marked and considered premium going forward, as they include custom soundscapes and max 400 pieces. So, this is a title I've slept on for a long, long time, Roots. Jigsaw puzzles in VR it doesn't sound very cool on paper. But with that said, I have known tons of people raving about this thing, man. They all say that it's a lot of fun, super really relaxing, and this thing with the audio, I had no idea that they had such detailed audio going into these kind of soundscapes that they put you into. Apparently, this this jigsaw puzzle game is fairly immersive and high detail, both on a visual and audio level. So I don't know, man. It might be time to check out Puzzling Places. What do you think?
I think it sounds really cool. Just the sounds and just the environments, the theme based puzzles. Dark Angels said Puzzling Place is getting excited. There's a lot of people getting excited in the chat from this simple game, at least of what we consider to be simple, right? Or I just didn't, like you said, I thought puzzles and VR. No, thank you. I think it sounds super cool. Definitely worth checking out.
I think this might be the first time I've ever actually reported on this game. Like this is one of those that I've just not interested. Next, you know what I mean? From day one, I've undersold this, but you could see it in the chat. You could see it on the Discord. You could see it in the PlayStation VR community. People love this. And I don't know. I feel like I'd be remiss not to at least give it a try because how many times have we gone into VR thinking that, this isn't my type of game. This isn't the type of thing I like to do, only to get completely immersed by it and end up enjoying it more than we thought.
Hmm.
So yeah, obviously now is a very busy time for us. There's a lot of new releases. There's a lot of great games to play. But next time we have a hole in the schedule, maybe we give Puzzling Places a look.
Absolutely. Scion says, I think Wes would like this game better if the character Jigsaw was in it. That would be
100%.
scary. But no, I think it's super cool, and I want to check it out in VR for sure.
Bluebell says, I like puzzles. I just never thought it would be good in VR either. Dark Angel says, the ambient sounds that grow and surround you are very cool stuff.
Now, let me ask you this. At work, there's a lot, I've gone to a lot of people's houses, and I went into this house and they had this huge table and the family does puzzles. They have them all laid out. They've got them framed everywhere. That's like what they do together. I don't know much about this game. Is this multiplayer? Because that would be a lot cooler. Like if you could go on this and do it like with your wife and your kids or something. How cool would that be to sit there and put together a puzzle and you're hanging out together? I think that's really cool.
That's a good point. And I don't think it is, but maybe it should be, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
Dark Angel says, just think, picking up puzzle pieces instead of sticks.
Well, at least you're getting to form a picture. And this is cool. You're building this house or this in the woods. You're hearing the noise. I think the sound, like Wes said, I never really thought about it. I guess I never paid attention to the trailer, but that's going to add a completely different layer to sitting there and building this puzzle. Super cool.
Absolutely. Anyway, definitely something I'm going to keep in the back of my mind, and who knows, maybe we'll revisit this one day. It seems like there's plenty enough people interested in it that they're going to start doing monthly DLC for it. So, good on them.
Yep.
One more headline that excites me quite a bit more than DLC for Puzzling Places is this last headline. New Sony studio Firesprite making a, quote, AAA horror game in Unreal Engine 5. So this is Firesprite Games, the studio that brought us The Persistence, that recently was picked up by Sony. They also are bringing us the new Horizon Forbidden. I'm sorry, I always get the Horizon Call of the Mountain VR game, also in development from Firesprite Games. This is exciting, Roots. AAA horror game. Not only a AAA horror game, this one done in Unreal Engine 5. And, if past patterns hold form here, this absolutely very well could support VR. And AAA horror game for PSVR2. Is that what I'm reading here, Roots? That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, it seems like it to me as well. Definitely a good possibility, and maybe both. Flat and VR.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I would expect, to be quite honest. I would expect this to be a hybrid game. But if you read on through this article, and you're a classic PlayStation fan, you're going to get even more excited as you realize that it's highly likely that Firesprite also working on the Twisted Metal reboot.
Oh my
So,
God! So we're finally going to get the
yeah,
real, actual Twisted Metal, not something close to it.
exactly my thinking. We've always fantasized about just how awesome Twisted Metal could be in VR. Seems like this fact isn't lost on the people at Sony, as Firesprite just a few months ago took over this Twisted Metal project from Lucid Games, and if I had to bet, the reason why is so that they could turn it into a hybrid game with VR support.
Yeah, super cool, man. I can't wait. That's got to be VR. Twisted Metal.
Yeah, dude. So think about what Firesprite's doing since they've come to Sony now. They're working on a Horizon game. They're working on Twisted Metal, and now they're going to be doing a AAA horror game in Unreal Engine 5. If these games all have VR capability, I think Firesprite might be my new favorite studio, man. Like that's an impressive lineup of games for VR.
Yeah, absolutely. Super exciting, right?
Dude, I can hardly contain myself thinking about this. This could be amazing. I'm sure it will be, even if it's flat, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Twisted Metal was old school, says Traveling Man. Absolutely was. I loved it though, dude. I used to veg out on that game for hours.
Yeah. That's a
Wolf
game you
Rosa
get
says
sucked in.
Twisted Metal. Wolf Rosa says Twisted Metal 2 was the best one. I don't remember. I remember I liking them all. I don't remember which one was which though. I just remember loving it so much. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So playing it in VR would be a dream.
It's coming.
Yeah, I think so, Roots. I really do. I think that Firesprite. I think that this is going to be kind of their role within the Sony first party studios. They're going to be the hybrid game people because let's face it, Persistence is a hybrid game. So they already have experience doing this, even on like Gen 1 PlayStation. So
How many developers
why
so how many developers have experience bringing a game reverse that was VR to flat, right? And doing it so well
right,
that it's on every platform, Switch included, right? Crazy.
right. Yeah, these guys are legit. This is a legit AAA studio that continues to grow and continues to have a larger footprint in the industry.
Yeah.
And as long as they stick to their VR roots, then I'm going to continue to be a big fan of Firesprite.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, that's going to wrap up headlines and bring us into the week's reminders. We do have some stuff out this week, Roots, and while it might not be the stacked lineup that we've had for the past month, some very very impressive looking titles coming this week.
Grant, are you okay?
Alex, yeah. I barely made it out alive.
Is there somewhere you can hide out?
I'm not staying here. I have to find you.
There's a lot of those things heading your way. They're coming.
I have to find where people were being evacuated to.
Military was stationed there at some point. Do you see any signs of them still being there?
I don't know. I'll find out. I have to find my family.
The Living Remain. Roots, this title we talked about recently on our channel. This is a title coming from a husband and wife team of two, been in development for over 6 years, and apparently promises an up to 6-hour campaign, story-driven zombie shooter campaign that's highly polished, great graphics, good gun handling. Our friend Mateo311 did a video on this game this past week and was blown away by it. He said that this is the best experience he's had in VR since like Half-Life Alyx.
Wow.
So high praise for this
Yes.
indie game. I was already interested in it. Now I'm just completely can't wait to get my my hands on it.
That looks crazy. It looks super cool. I like the story. The husband wife team, all the work that they put into it, and it just the fact that Mateo was blown away. It's one of the best games he's had since Alyx. This is that I'm now you just made me excited for this even more than I already was.
Time to hit these developers up. I think, man, I want to play it tomorrow.
Yeah,
like, this thing looks cool.
Yeah, Mateo, man. There's a thing. If he's talking about it, we should be talking about how good it is, right?
Absolutely. And it comes out in just a couple days. Let's see here. This one comes out on April 5th. So
Cool.
2 more days till this one launches on Steam VR. Really looking forward to The Living Remain. Could be one of the month's highlights. From out of nowhere, Sleeper Roots.
That's crazy. Silon says zombies. Absolutely, I'm in. Traveling Man says Mateo did. Oh, wait, he said nope. Mateo did a video on this, and he was climbing a ladder one-handed with the extra gun in hand. So
yeah, it took him three tries to get up it. I did see that. It was hilarious.
I could have done it.
Drop his gun.
I could do it.
Yeah.
I could do it and just whip it, pop one style. Expert. Do we know the cost on it? Wolf Raza wants to know. I probably could.
I do not know the cost on it. I would think $25 probably would be a fair price for it, but that's just pure speculation on my part.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, they deserve these. You know, I want to buy it just to support this husband-wife team that took 6 years to put out a amazing zombie game.
This is this looks Roots. This looks like what we all wanted Contagion VR to be. This looks like what this is. And I can't wait to try it out.
That's why I'm more excited now about it after seeing this, because Contagion VR left such a bad taste in my mouth about because the demo was so good, right? And I guess it's better now, but I want to play this.
Yeah, I agree. 2 more days. We don't have to wait very long.
Yeah, absolutely.
Descending into the dark dungeons of forgotten memories, the mighty Guardian found himself caught in an ambush. An old but familiar magic, whispering a call to adventure. Compelled by fate, he summoned the old fellowship.
Alright boys, what's the plan of attack here?
We gotta get the key and then we gotta go to the exit.
Alright, I'm gonna try to take out this little spider looking thing.
Do it, John! Take him out!
Where are we going? Should we go in here? Ooh, a chest. Oh, we got a card. Ooh, nice.
Do I need to save you?
There's a card. You got a card?
Okay, hang on, I got this.
Whoa!
What about this door over here?
I have a feeling this could get ugly. Look at this guy.
They are killing you, man.
They're taking a beating.
I'm about to die.
We got these clowns. Come on.
We got your back.
Oh, here they come.
I got you, I got you.
That's cute.
Whoa! Nice!
Demio Pancake Edition coming from Resolution Games on April 7th this week to Steam. And if you own the VR edition already, you will receive the PC edition absolutely free of charge. Eric played this during the GDC and came away very impressed with what they've managed to accomplish here. Full crossplay with VR available, Roots. So now you're going to be able to bring your friends into the game whether they have a VR headset or not. That's pretty cool.
That is very cool. And then sometimes for me, sometimes I want to play and want to hang out with my friends, and maybe I don't want to be in VR, but you guys do. It's another way to play with other people. For us as well. I'm just bummed out that I just heard about the free version of it with the VR version, because I just claimed the Steam key right before the show. I saw it in the notes and I thought, oh shit, man, I want to have a PC version of it, and I didn't need to. It's just kind of a bummer.
Well, they gave us those Steam keys so that we could do some content of it before it comes out. So
yeah, that's true.
Maybe we get in there and check it out and
that's true.
Have a video ready for Thursday.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, yeah, what is there to say about Demio that we haven't said already? One of the games of the year, maybe should have even been the game of the year last year. Super popular, still fun to play, continually being updated, and an amazing roadmap already in place for this game going forward. I think that this is a game that we're going to be talking about for years to come, and is easily the crown jewel in the Resolution Games collection.
Yeah, super cool. And this is the future of VR in a sense, right? The multiplayer co-op with flat gamers, at least in the games that you can do it, and it's going to boost the overall gaming pool significantly, right? So
yeah, absolutely. Anyway, this week we do have copies of it, as Roots just mentioned. So more to come on this later in the week from us for sure. So stay tuned for that.
Yep.
As we mentioned before, Green Hell VR coming out on that very same day from Incuvo. This one hitting Quest 2 this week, coming to PC next month. But again, we already talked about it. Looks pretty awesome.
Yep.
By the way, guys, there's a key floating around in the chat there for "I Expect You to Die" on Steam. If you don't have it yet, scroll up there and grab it. I haven't seen anyone say yet that they've got it, so still up for grabs. Scroll up a little bit.
Mike Newton says 20% off Demio until midnight. So get on it now if you don't own it.
Yeah, there you go. Good call, Mike Newton. Thank you.
Yep.
Anyway, PSVR players, don't you fret. You've got a new release coming out this week too, and it's an oldie but a goodie. As Lucky's Tale coming this week from Playful, finally making its way over to PSVR. Roots, this game finally making it to where it should have been in the first place, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It makes me wonder, how do you think people are going to receive this with Astrobot out there? Because Astrobot is
Astrobot,
the best.
Astrobot's 4 years old.
That's true, and this is new. That's true.
Yep.
And it's cool.
I think people are going to like it. I think people are going to like it to an extent. They don't have Vin over there yet, although Vin VR is in development for PlayStation VR as we speak. They don't have that yet. All they've got is Astrobot, and if you're like me, you've played Astrobot. This is going to give people who love platforming games something new to play. It is extremely colorful and charming, Roots. It's very charming. Not the most challenging game in the world, not the longest game in the world, but it is worth your time. And yeah, it's a high quality title from a good studio. So I think people are going to like it just fine.
Yep, absolutely. I agree.
All right, well, it looks like everybody already has "I Expect You to Die," so we'll leave it in there, and maybe someone will catch it on the chat replay and pick it up. If you catch that game on the chat replay and pick it up, leave us a comment down below. Let us know you got it, so I can delete it out of our key pool here. Anyway, that's going to bring us into the wish list segment where we ask you to join us. Take just a moment to join us and help us support the development community by just taking a moment with us right now in real time to wishlist a game. It could be a game that we've talked about here today, or it could be something completely unrelated. But it is a big deal for the developers. They're constantly asking for people to wishlist their games. So that's what we're going to do right now. And no brainer this week, Roots. The Living Remain is going to get my vote for the wish list title this week. What about you?
Yeah, same. Absolutely. Especially after hearing what you had to say about Mateo, loving it, and it just looks so good, right? This is my thing. I saw the trailer. I've been down that road, Contagion VR, before. And so I didn't know. I didn't know if it's going to be good or not. But if somebody that I respect their opinion has already played it and said that it's amazing, now I'm excited and absolutely wish listing it. And Wolf Raza is right there with us, he says. He's putting that one as well.
All right, so I'm logging in
And
as
Bluebell.
we speak.
Well,
I'm logged in.
Hack says he said he would claim the key if he wasn't driving. I think it was Hack that said that. So Hack, just see when you get home, go back and play it. And
Yeah. I'll even try to send you a DM or something maybe here in a few minutes if I can remember, so that you can claim it when you get home. It's an awesome game. Everyone should have that one. So
yeah, absolutely.
trying to find the stupid. Oh, it's our okay. I clicked wish list before I signed in, and then when I signed in, it automatically added it for me.
That's
All
funny.
right. So the Living Remain, definitely my title this week. Definitely Roots' title this week. Wolveraz's as well. Be sure to let us know what you chose as your wish list title. Two dev team, 6 years in development. If that doesn't deserve 2 minutes of your time in one click, I don't know what does.
Absolutely.
And that's going to bring us to our final reminder this week and every week, and that is while you could do your part to support us, our community, and our channel. Of course, if you're new to the channel, the most important thing for you to do is to click the big red button, subscribe. Be sure to ring the bell as well so that you can stay up with all of our content here on the Virtual Strangers channel. But if you're already subscribed and you want to do a little something extra, like our friend Mike Newton there, which is our newest patron. Thank you, Mr. Newton. I'm pretty sure that's Mike Newton. He goes by Q Creator, and I'm pretty sure that's Mike Newton. So thank you, sir, for joining our Patreon roll. But you too can join our Patreon roll for at least $3 per week. That's all we asked, or $3 per month, rather. I always do that. $3 per month. You can gain access to our weekly show notes. You can gain access to insider updates, and you can gain access to exclusive content. We're even having people vote right now, Roots, on what they want me to play. So you get to pick the content even, and that's all for less than $1 per week. And most of all, you get peace of mind knowing that you did your part to help our community to grow and thrive. So thank you out there to all of our patrons, and thank you to anyone else who's subscribed or otherwise considering to support us on Patreon. We appreciate you very much.
Absolutely.
Well, Verizon wants to know, penguins do have knees? Maybe. Thank you for the $2 donation, Wolfie. We very much appreciate it.
Now I'm going to be thinking about that all night. Damn it, Wolfie. Do they?
Anyway, last but not least, we'd like to invite you into our home, which is the Virtual Strangers Discord. You'll find an invitation link in the description down below. This is where we all live. It's where we're at 24/7. If you need to talk to us about VR or anything for that matter, you can find us all on there pretty much all the time. And we invite you to become a part of this amazing community. All you have to do is scroll down to the description, click the link, and walk through the door.
And come home.
Come on home. Traveling Man 3775 says, "Have fun, guys. Great show." $5 donation from Traveling Man. Very much appreciated. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Wolvie. Thank you to everyone who donated today. Very much appreciated, and very, very helpful as we move on through 2022, growing our channel as we start our 4th year as Virtual Strangers, Roots.
Absolutely. Dark Angel says warm cookies waiting on the doorstep. And I will add, that is true. I will add that you that maybe don't have the money and the likes, the shares, all of that is super helpful. Even comments. So yeah, comment down below. Yep.
All the clicks help. Anything you can click that it'll actually let you click, except for the one that does this. That one don't help so much. But all of the other stuff that you can click helps us grow. And you know, even if your fingers hurt and you don't want to click, you could tell a friend.
Yeah.
That would help.
Yeah.
So there's tons of ways to help us grow, and we appreciate all of you who have been behind us these past 3 years, helping us to do just that.
Yep, absolutely.
Anyway, with that said, friends, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching, and for Roots, I'm Wes. We'll see you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.
Take it easy.